Good evening, Mark Spencer with Ohio News and Weather. We are tracking some severe weather across far northwestern Ohio. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of northwestern Ohio, and that is going to include, let's see here, it looks like it just got updated. We'll see that here. It's going to include portions, oh, that's the watch actually. My apologies. Let's get the right one up here. All right, let's see. Here we go. My apologies here. This is going to include portions of northeastern Defiance County, northern Henry County, and eastern Williams County, as well as Fulton County. That goes until 6:30, so about another 5 minutes here. 60-mile-an-hour winds being reported, along with some hail as well. This is all moving off to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. Now, what we have noticed here is we've noticed a bit of a weakening trend in this line as it moves out of Indiana into northwestern Ohio. We did have a little bit of sun here earlier, but it's now running into kind of more of a bit of a stable environment, if you will, not quite as unstable. I think it's also getting ahead of some of the other dynamics as well. This is about an hour or so ahead of where some of the modeling had this earlier. We were expecting storms kind of along the Indiana-Ohio border closer to about 7 o'clock, and this is a little bit ahead of that, obviously. Otherwise, strong storms to the south of there, just coming out of the Fort Wayne area, out of Marion, Indiana, still into Indiana as well, down towards Muncie, down here, just off the screen pretty much. These are non-severe, so if you're not in this box right here, I know it's a little hard to see on this view. Elsewhere, these are just strong storms, winds to 40, maybe 50 miles an hour, perhaps some small hail, heavy rain, also with these storms as well. We're going to take another look here at a wider view. If I can get my screens right, guys. My apologies, a little rusty here after you haven't been doing this for a bit. And, well, let's see here if we can do that. Does not want to do it. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll transition this way. Let's take a full view here, guys. Here we go. So we are watching additional storms along this line across Indiana. You'll note that in Indiana, there is a tornado watch that goes through this evening. We're under a severe thunderstorm watch here in much of northwestern and west central Ohio through the late evening hours. We're not sure yet if the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma is going to extend that further east or not. I think they're going to watch this line and kind of get an idea as to what happens and see if they need to extend this eastward. Now, across southwestern Ohio and even into portions of central Ohio, you guys got a little bit of sun this afternoon. It's warm here, 70, 68 or so. See, we got a few showers around as well from earlier. That may help to just a touch, destabilize some things, but not too bad. We do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings to the south and west of Indianapolis. This is all in pretty much western Indiana right now. It is all moving off to the east at a pretty good clip, 40 to 50 miles an hour. So we're going to see what happens. A lot of the tornado threat actually has been further north up towards Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I don't think anybody expected that today, to be honest with you. Look at these big red boxes up there. Those are tornado warnings. Here's Grand Rapids. It's just to the north and east of Grand Rapids, north of Lansing, between Lansing and Jackson, Michigan as well. We were not expecting a tornado threat up here. It's a really large tornado box, so they must have a couple areas of circulation in there. I'm not sure what's going on, but looks like they did have a report of a tornado earlier as well. So that's quite interesting that it's that far north. We were expecting tornadic activity down this way towards Evansville, Indiana, Paducah, Kentucky, and into the Boot Heel of Missouri, where they do have a couple tornado warnings as well. The lower Ohio Valley, mid-Mississippi Valley was the better setup for all of that, but just not quite panning out right now. Again, we are watching, well, it looks like we may have we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let me discuss that first. So it's kind of where we just talked about. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Defiance County, northern Henry County, and Fulton County. That goes until 7 o'clock. Again, we're looking at that nice line of storms there. It's moving east at about 50 miles an hour, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, perhaps some nickel-sized hail with that as well. Let's change our view here real quick, and we will zoom on in on that area. And so that's going to be pretty much this box right in here. So right now affecting Wauseon, Archbold, Napoleon, getting into the north side of Defiance there just a little bit. And also looks like Swanton, Ridgeville Corners, Liberty Center, Assumption, Colton, Pettisville, Florida, and some of the other surrounding small communities around here are impacted by that. Again, the severe thunderstorm watch goes until 10 o'clock tonight. We're not sure if we're going to expand this. As you can see, really not a whole lot from this particular view. This doesn't look all that menacing, but there are some pretty strong winds in there. Let me see if I can get up our velocity real quick. We're in a kind of an odd spot with this as well. Not great radar coverage here, so sometimes it's not, yeah, see, that's not too great. And then let's see if we can get into here. Nope, one more try, folks, one more try. There's velocity. Yeah, not a whole lot there. Okay, all right, let me flip over to another program here. That might help out a little bit. Yeah, not a whole lot. I'll flip over to our other radar program we have here as well, and we'll take a look at that. So here's what we call our velocity scan here. We're fairly high up in the atmosphere. This is off the radar site out in North Webster, Indiana. So it's way out over here, just off the screen. So right in here, you got Detroit way to the north, and actually the radar site sits well north of Detroit. It's almost in Flint, and then you have Cleveland off to the east, and Cleveland doesn't get a good scan out here. So we're kind of in between. We don't have a great low-level scan, unfortunately. These winds don't look too bad, but they are quite strong aloft, as we can see here. Some very strong winds right over the Ohio, Indiana, Michigan border there. So some of this could mix down to the surface, but we're not expecting any extensive straight-line winds right now. So that's a good thing at the moment, and some of this, again, is slowly beginning to kind of dissipate a little bit as it moves into northern Ohio, which is in a way good. So we're going to keep an eye on things too. I'm not going to stay with you throughout the entire time here, but I will stay with you as much as I can, and I am trying to monitor some of the chat a little bit as well, but I can only do so much, guys, so just keep that in mind. And we're going to go ahead and flip this back over to our base scan here. You can see even on the base scan, you can tell just really how poor a lot of this looks. I'll even switch to our other radar program here, and you can see that right now. And it's again, just not a great look. Some inflow, a lot of good inflow. We see these kind of notches right in here and right in here. We got a lot of good inflow, but nothing to take that and create any spin right now. Not really seeing that. So a lot of inflow coming into this. So there's some pretty strong winds that's also pushing out behind it. I think a lot of this, though, has actually pushed well ahead of the better support. We had a lot of shear and some other dynamics aloft that we're going to be working in closer to 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. Again, we're about a half hour to almost an hour ahead of that or so when we thought that was going to move in. If it gets out ahead of that, and this line was booking earlier across Indiana, it really, really moved. When we get out ahead of that, it starts to lose its support. Better support right now appears to be up in Michigan, and then also we're seeing some good stuff down the lower Ohio River Valley as well, but not a whole lot of activity right now. There were some gusty wind reports in northeastern Indiana, and even back earlier in Illinois, we had some really strong wind reports. And we got some pretty strong wind reports up in Michigan right now as well. Actually, at Grand Rapids Airport, they had a wind gust to 81 miles per hour not that long ago. So that's quite strong. I want to flip over to the Van Wert area a little bit, and I'm going to just throw up our velocity scan. Yeah, see, not a whole lot in there. Okay. Not too much. All right, so let's just look at our normal scan here. Just coming out of Indiana right now, coming into Van Wert. Pretty strong cell right here. Probably some hail in there as well, perhaps up to an inch. The radar is really not pegging too much. That's pegging about a quarter to maybe a half inch of hail. Not a ton of lightning with this. Actually, it's all clustered right here around the strongest cell we have just west of Van Wert. And then to the south of that, a lot of rain, a little bit of lightning. I do have some of the lightning turned off a little bit, so perhaps there's a little bit more with that. Otherwise, this gets all cluttered. You can't see a thing sometimes with all the lightning. So there might be a little bit more. I do apologize about that. None of this is severe. There is no severe weather warnings in effect. This is the severe thunderstorm watch until 10. This is a tornado watch that expires probably in just a couple hours at this point. Much of it has been canceled to the west of it. So I think they're just going to wait on this line to move through and they're going to cancel out that watch. And hasn't been much of a tornado threat in this particular area. Looked like a little bit better threat earlier this afternoon, but just hasn't really panned out. But again, none of this is severe. Strong, again, could see some hail in here, maybe a ½ inch or slightly larger than that. Definitely some heavy rainfall as well. Some localized flooding's possible, especially later tonight and into early Monday morning across southern Ohio. Models are really having this line of storms kind of train along the Ohio River down there, and that could cause some localized flooding Monday morning. So definitely be careful as you head out to work tomorrow morning across southern Ohio. Could run across some ponding of water on the roadways, even some localized flooding as well. Latest update here, you can see this strongest portion of this cell is actually going to pass, looks like just to the north and west of the Van Wert there. May hit just the far northwest section of town, but that's about it. The rest of this will hit. This is bowing out a little bit, so we do have some pretty strong winds here. Again, that could be approaching 50 miles an hour, and we'll keep an eye on this cell down here. Good inflow notch right here into that cell, but we'll keep an eye on that. That's still a little bit away from the Ohio state line, which is this big white line right here, where this is in Indiana. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's take a look around just a little bit more here and see if we have anything else going on. Again, not a whole lot going on across Ohio. Actually, just came in here, Jackson, Michigan. The airport in Jackson, Michigan recorded a 96-mile-an-hour wind gust. Wow, that's quite strong. That is quite strong. Yeah, if you look across, well, if we look across Indiana, we're looking at the Fort Wayne radar, so we're looking quite high. Nothing too great. I'm going to flip over to Wilmington here real quick, folks, just to peek in on southwestern Ohio. We do have a couple little showers and storms right around Huber Heights, moving into Enon, and then just north of Springfield as well. None of this is severe. Nice little cell just popped up to the southeast of Xenia as well, moving towards Bowersville, and probably just splitting between Jamestown and Bowersville there. And not a whole lot here. These are just now starting to develop. I know we talked about earlier on our page and even the day before about some stuff firing ahead of that line, and that if this stuff were to be strong enough and to become discrete, that it could become severe. We didn't quite get some of the sun we needed for that to happen. We did get sun in this area. It's not too bad. It's 68, 70 degrees around southwestern Ohio. But it took a little longer, and I think that line moving in is probably going to affect some of this as well. So we're going to keep an eye on it, but right now I don't expect any of this to reach any sort of severe level. But again, if we back it up just a little bit, we can see it just really briefly has developed. So nothing of concern there right now. Let's flip over to this one here. We'll go back to this one and we'll kind of put a big view on it. If I can find it. Sorry, folks. A lot of screens. Our severe thunderstorm watch does get as far east as Erie County. I don't think that unless we see a big change here, we're going to see much severe weather really to the east of Toledo right now. Something we'll just have to monitor, but right now there's not great dynamics further east. A lot of cloud cover, definitely east of Toledo today. We had a couple sunny breaks here and there, but probably not enough to really cause a lot of destabilization of the atmosphere. As we get further into the evening here, that is going to be a kind of a contributing factor, if you will, to all of this at the end of the day. But right now, again, not seeing too much crazy activity going on. We'll zoom out a little bit further here and see, well, not a whole lot. We're going to flip over to our national radar here real quick. National radar is not going to make this look very strong, so yeah, we're not going to get too crazy with it. Yep, it doesn't look great. So let's stay off the national radar. We'll go back to our single site here, and we'll stick on Fort Wayne for now. There we go. Looks like Now, what do we have here? We do have a special weather statement. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning. It's a special weather statement. So the warning we talked about a few minutes ago, they're not going to issue another warning. So they're talking about the storm that is near Wauseon and Defiance, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Wind gusts just below severe levels. Let me see if I can get a better view on this here just real quick. And let's see. Here we go. Let me flip over to here, and that'll give us a little bit better view. Here we are. That's my son, Evan. Everybody say hello to Evan. And you can barely see him, but he's there. Everybody say hello to Evan. All right, so it's hard to see here. Let me, you know what? Let me get the, let me turn off the watches and warnings real quick. I don't think we're going to need them at this point. There we are. And we'll kind of see this somewhat ugly colored line. It's not yellow, it's not orange. This line right here, we're looking at mainly Lucas, the northern portion of Wood County, into far northwestern Ottawa County. That's that special weather statement. They're talking about this line moving in. So they're not going to extend that severe thunderstorm warning into the Toledo, Perrysburg area at all. This is going to stay generally below severe levels. That's Evan. He's going to copy me for a while, so I'll have fun with that. This will be great for our stats later on when we go back to look at this, that's for sure. Again, severe thunderstorm warning here for much of Defiance and Henry County and Fulton County as well, Napoleon, the Wauseon, down towards Defiance as well. Defiance, you're kind of getting out of that right now. Just moving into Napoleon. Wauseon's in the middle of it, but again, it's really not all that bad. Gusty winds, that's by them not extending that warning, that kind of tells me that they are looking at this and going, this isn't really panning out. So up to 50 mile an hour winds, probably less than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's right now much above about 40 or even 45 miles an hour. But again, this is kind of well ahead of where we thought it was going to be at the time. And yeah, Evan's in the copying me. Okay, I do want to bring you to another view here because we did have something else just get issued here. We've got a mesoscale discussion for southwestern Ohio, folks. So I'm going to give us a quick peruse here. And it looks like they are considering some sort of a downstream watch by 7 o'clock or so. Couldn't tell you what kind of watch at the moment. I am assuming based on, he's having a blast, folks. I'm assuming based on the latest trends here, we'll probably see a severe thunderstorm watch. However, the severe thunderstorm watch here from northwestern Ohio, they said they were going to issue a tornado watch, and then they issued the severe thunderstorm watch. So you just never know sometimes. Likewise, they issued a severe thunderstorm watch up in Michigan, and they got a ton of tornado warnings. So it's 50-50 sometimes, I guess, but it is what it is. And okay, where we got? Let's see here. Looks like someone is. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Who is that? Zach Batten. Thank you for the little tip there. Okay. Okay. My apologies for all the screaming. He just loves it, and he's going to keep doing it. Again, my apologies. He's pretty wound up tonight. Oh boy. Okay, so we're not going to stop. All right. Back to where I was here. So let's go, and there's the right button. Okay, my apologies. Now that I'm all backwards, I want to go to our Wilmington radar here and take a quick look at a cell around Springfield that is trying to get its act together just a touch. Here we go. Yeah, let's switch to that. Perfect. So now, perfect. Here we go. Okay, so my apologies for all the screaming, guys. I'm really sorry. He's 3. All right, so we are kind of watching this cell north of Springfield. Very, very, very weak rotation just to the north of Springfield here. It's trying to do something, but it really doesn't have a whole lot to work with right now. We'll flip back over to our reflectivity as well on this, and that way you guys can get a better view of it. I'm also watching around Enon as well on I-70, just north of there. There's a nice little notch right here. You can see our cell north of Springfield moving towards Catawba and Mechanicsburg. Look at that little notch right there, folks. It's just a little bit of rotation, and sometimes with these storms like this, the reflectivity tells more than the velocity. Sometimes. So these are trying to do something. They're trying to become discrete. Right now they look to be discrete. They're not connected. However, this is definitely the more stronger of the 2 cells at this point in time. So we're going to keep an eye on these here and see what happens. They did kind of blossom up a little bit. I really was not expecting that at this point. Just because we did have some sun here, but just because some of this is a little bit ahead of some of the dynamics, and I thought that line moving was going to kind of kick things to the curb just a touch, but that's okay. We're going to keep an eye on this. These are not severe. There's no severe weather warnings out on either of these cells right now, but we will definitely be keeping an eye on here over the next several minutes. So I'll stick with you through that, and we'll kind of see what happens here. And okay, well, folks, Storm Prediction Center never ceases to amaze me here sometimes. They did issue a tornado watch for much of southwestern Ohio. That's the red box here. Let me read this. This goes until 1 a.m. A few tornadoes and winds to 80 miles an hour, maybe some large hail to 2 inches as well. Again, my apologies, folks. Let's zoom in here. All right, so pretty much our tornado watch goes from just north of Springfield all the way down to the Georgetown area and points west. Again, that goes until 1 a.m. Much of this gets into Kentucky and parts of Indiana. We're not going to worry about that. They are kind of watching these cells. There is this tornado warning that just got issued in Indiana, not for Ohio, just to the east of Bloomington. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on this activity out here. As it moves east, there was some decent clearing here this afternoon. It's still sunny out there as well. They're in the low 70s. They did get some things going, so we are going to keep a close eye on that. Let me flip over to that as well for you. My apologies here. I already did. Never mind. Okay. Look at the right screen. I'll get it. I promise. I got a couple other things going as well. Okay. Excellent. All right. So that's our tornado watch, southwestern Ohio. That goes until 1 a.m. And let me see if I can get some of the counties to come up here as well. No, I cannot on that one. I can do it this way, though. Here we go. Some of the Ohio counties. In Ohio, we're looking at Brown, Butler, Champaign, Clark, Claremont, Clinton, Greene, Hamilton, Miami, Montgomery, Preble, and Warren counties in Ohio. Again, it's all southwestern Ohio, folks. What are they going to do further east? Don't know. Don't ask, please. Don't know right now. Just don't know what they're going to do further east at the moment. It's very, very hard to say what's going to happen as we get further to the east. And, all right. bear with me just a moment. I'm trying to get my bearings back together here. We had that little spurt there. Let's go back to our radar here in southwestern Ohio, the Wilmington radar. Look at these couple cells. They've kind of tried to get a little bit more organized, and that is kind of quite interesting here. Let's pull up our velocity. Yeah, okay, so I am looking at this cell right here, the northernmost cell right now, just coming out of Northridge, in between US 68 and State Route 4, moving towards, we'll call it Mutual and kind of that west side of Mechanicsburg here. We do have some rotation it's trying to wrap in. This is pretty weak, though. This is not very strong rotation by really any means, but it's definitely trying to get its act together. So we're going to keep an eye on that here for you as well. Further south and west, that stronger cell down here near Donaldsville along US 40, again, just north of I-70, south of Carlisle. We do have some directional shear here. So basically, if you think about it, we have shear kind of going this way a little bit, right? It's not turning, it's just going this way, kind of like parallel to itself a little bit here. It's not really wrapping in just yet, but that's decent. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. That is, again, the stronger of the two cells. So this one, I'm gonna keep my eyes on right now. There are definitely some gusty winds. Just got an update there. Not too much of a change. Yeah, we got a little pixel here that kind of wrapped in, but that's, that I'm not going to really worry about that at the moment. But right now in Donaldsville, you might see a little bit of a spin there to the sky, but maybe not a ton. If you are there and you happen to be watching us, would love to see a comment. I'm trying to watch them the best that I can. So I'll keep an eye on them. I'll try to address some of them here as we go. I want to go back further north and take a look at our cell coming out of Northridge here. And we didn't get too much of an update here either, you know. So again, more kind of directional, parallel to one another than we have the actual spin going on, the counterclockwise rotation. Right now, this is more going that way. This is kind of coming this way. We're not seeing too much of that wrapping in just yet. Could it happen? It could. If there's just enough support there for it, it could happen. Right now, again, the best cells really down here, right along US 40, just to the west and almost overhead of Donaldsville right now. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. There could be a bit of a wall cloud here right over Donaldsville. That wrapped in real nice on that update right there. That's real nice. So that is moving off to the north and east at probably about 40 miles an hour. So Northampton, you're going to be in the more what we call a high precipitation part of it. And this is going to move more to the north and east, kind of towards Northridge there. And I don't have any plots for you on times or anything. It's not a strong enough cell to plot it. So that'll move towards Northridge probably about the next 15 minutes. Again, it's not warned or anything right now, but it is something we will watch. And this is the better one here. Yeah, let's see if we get an update on that here. Looks like it did. We'll wait on it just another minute here, but it did look like it updated recently. We're going to see what we can get comment-wise here, folks. Again, my apologies for the little one running around. He is having a blast, though. Tornado watch is just that. It's a watch. It's the potential for a tornado to develop. It's not a tornado is imminent or occurring. Poland, Ohio, you're in eastern Ohio, folks. You got a long time until we get there. All right, that's the best I can do on comments right now. Let me see if I can get some comments up this way, because Facebook just does not like comments on live streams anymore. Let's see if we can go. Jeez. Looks like we're right here. Got this all titled wrong too, my bad. Looking at some comments here. Yes, stuff's going to make it to Columbus, folks. You're not under any sort of don't believe you're under the tornado watch right now. You guys are not. It's west of you, but this will make it to Columbus. Whether or not it's doing anything strong or not, well, that's to be determined. And yeah, as you get further east, it's definitely coming here. But I can't break down into exactly everybody's backyard, unfortunately. It's just too much. There's rotation at the bottom of the screen going back and forth, and it just disappears every so often. And that's my son, in case you're wondering. My apologies. We'll get into what to expect further east a little bit further later on here. I want to watch these cells just a little bit, but we'll try to dive into that briefly. As the evening and overnight progresses and this line moves further east, again, this is going to gradually decrease. It could be strong, but I think severe will definitely drop off, especially as we hit 11 p.m., midnight or so. But that's just something we'll kind of have to kind of keep our eyes on as well. But I know a lot of you look like you're watching from Eastern Ohio, so I appreciate that. But it is going to be a while before it gets here. It's going to be overnight when it gets there. I can't break down hour by hour timing with everything all the time. It does get a little difficult. No, we're not expecting a derecho. Just drop that language now. We're not in derecho category right now, at least not here in Ohio. All right, so I do want to look just to the north of Donaldsonville now. That rotation is strengthened, but it's not, at least on velocity, it's not wrapping in. There's just an update there. So we got this nice little tail hook right there. We don't quite have that inflow we did. It kind of filled in just a little bit, but definitely a little bit of spinning going on there, I think, somewhere. But I don't think it's going to be enough to really do anything substantial, which is good. But definitely something there. Our other little cell up here heading towards Mutual and Mechanicsburg. Look at this. I'm going to back this out just a touch. And they did just put out a special weather statement on it here. I'll read that in a second. It is falling apart. The bigger cell here is taking over. Our special weather statement on this particular cell, it's moving up to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. They're saying 45 mile an hour winds and pea-sized hail is possible. This is something we're going to keep an eye on for you, because it is certainly strengthening, actually to the point to where the cell near Mechanicsburg here is almost starting to get absorbed into the more stronger cell down here just north of Springfield, moving again off to the north and east. This side of the cell here, our stronger portion of the cell, that's going to affect Urbana. The front portion over here, where you noticed that rotation earlier, that's going to pretty much split between Urbana and Mechanicsburg right now, if everything stays on its current track. But yeah, definitely a nice little inflow notch here, nice little tail there as well. That's quite interesting. So that is something that is definitely worth watching. I am going to just real quick look at a couple other areas and see if there's anything of note to talk about. Right now there is not. A lot of the action still back into Indiana, just getting out of the Indianapolis metro, and then kind of further south and west of there. Some of that will affect southwestern Ohio here in about the next hour and a half or so. Our northern portion of our line, it's not doing a whole lot. They did issue, I will do this, they did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for the Toledo area. That's going to be Lucas County. And let me click on that here, and then I will go ahead and we'll get over to that in just a second. Here we go. Severe thunderstorm warning for Lucas County till 7:30. So that's where we had that special weather statement earlier. So now we're moving into a slightly better radar coverage, but slightly. So this is our storm right now near, well, it was near Blissfield. And it's moving northeast at 45 miles an hour with 60 mile an hour winds possible. Let's go ahead and switch over to the Cleveland radar here real quick. We'll start getting a little better look at it. See how this looks a little bit better up here in the Toledo area? Just a touch, not a whole lot. Even our velocity isn't going to be super great. There's a lot of missing data. Yeah, that's just normal for here. Again, we're shooting a radar beam pretty high. We're somewhere about 8,000 to 9,000 feet in the air, and that's the base. So Again, we're talking about 1.5 miles, or almost 2 miles of space below that radar beam that we don't get a read on at all. This is all fairly high, but it does look a little bit better now moving into where the Cleveland radar gets a little bit better read on it, but it's still quite high, but this is looking a little bit stronger. So again, that's until 7:30. Severe thunderstorm warning for Lucas County and only Lucas County. Do not ask me why they did not do the polygon. No idea. Because Perrysburg, you're going to get affected by this. Waterville, I think it stays just north of you, but it will hit the far northern reaches of Wood County as well. So if you're in that area, just to the south of Toledo there in northern Wood County, I would prepare for this cell, especially the cell just south of Swanton there. It's pretty much right over Toledo Express. That is going to move generally in this direction. It'll probably get real close to following Amami with that motion, but it will probably cross it just a bit into northern Wood County there, at least a touch. Let me see if we get anything on this here. Not too much. Okay. Yeah, not a touch. Okay, great. Yeah, it looks like it'll be around about 7:40, right around Rossford there, where that cell's going to be. So that's kind of a slow movement, but I think they're moving a lot faster than that. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that for you. All right, let's switch back over to our radar down in the Wilmington area, and that particular cell is definitely trying to get its act together. It's got some interesting looks to it. That's almost a hail core, almost. It's very interesting, and it's not spinning a lot. This is just to the south of Lawrenceville, just south of State Route 41. And not a whole lot out here, right in here. Springfield is right here, probably our most populous area. Again, not a whole lot of spin or anything like that. It's just not really hasn't really tried to wrap in too well. At least on our velocity, our reflectivity has had a little bit more to say about it here and there, but not a whole lot more to say about it. So again, that's my son. I apologize. He's going to keep running back and forth. Still got a nice inflow notch there. This particular cell heading towards Northridge and Tremont City, pretty much right about entering Tremont City now. Northridge, probably just the west side of town getting affected there. And now you can kind of see that we've kind of lost that hook feature, if you will, we had earlier. Here's still our inflow notch right in here, so it's bringing in wind around the front of it and into the storm. So pretty much the inflow, the wind almost may seem out of the east from Northridge towards Tremont City, and then Springfield, it could be probably out of the southwest where this is kind of wrapping in this way a little bit. So could still see a bit of a spin to the clouds. Maybe a wall cloud. It's certainly possible. Wall clouds have occurred with even relatively minor rotation, but right now we haven't had any reports of anything, which is great. No severe thunderstorm warning on this. There is a special weather statement out on it though, but again, no severe thunderstorm warning right now for this cell, which is good. All right, let's take a peek here what we got going on elsewhere. And we'll flip back over to our big view here, folks, just real quick. Again, we do have that tornado watch in effect for southwestern Ohio until 1 a.m. That includes Dayton and Cincinnati. It does not include Columbus. That ends just a little west of you there. Don't know what they're going to do further east, guys. Really don't yet. We did get some clearing here. It's not fully clear per se, but we did get some clearing there, which will help with providing some fuel a little bit later on. But I think as this gets further east, it will gradually weaken. And especially as it gets towards the mid-Ohio Valley and up towards the Ohio-Pennsylvania border, this stuff is really going to weaken. Northern Ohio, I don't think you're going to see too much of a threat. I think as those storms start interacting with Lake Erie, the lake's still fairly chilly. That's going to really help stabilize a lot of things, and it's going to turn a lot of that probably to just plain old rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder here and there. But I think that's going to be a bit of a limiting factor. No severe weather along this line in Ohio. Actually, you really got to get down to the Indy Metro before you get into any severe weather. There's my son again. And there he goes again. That is a good news, if you will. Some gusty winds, 40 to maybe 50 miles an hour. You can see National Weather Service Indiana put up another large severe thunderstorm warning there. This is the only tornado warning right now I've seen as of late across Indiana, and that looks to hold at least for just a touch longer. We'll see if they decide to warn that further. It'll be interesting to see whether or not we get any more development as this moves further to the east, if these things decide to intensify further, or if we get any other indications of, perhaps some tornadic indications. Not expecting that a ton. I know that kind of goes against, well, why did they issue a tornado watch, Mark? Sure. They're doing that only as awareness that there could be a few tornadoes, that the conditions are conducive to have the formation of a few tornadoes. They felt confident enough that that may certainly verify. So that's kind of how they're looking at it. And that is something we will just have to, again, monitor here as we go through our time here. We may jump off here just for a little bit here soon, just for a brief break, and kind of get ready for, if you will, round 2 here moving in. If you'll bear with me here, I can try to pull up some model data here, and we can take a brief look at that. I will just need a minute on that, though. I'll also double check our chat here in a moment as well, and I'll answer whatever questions I can possibly answer, and we'll see where we can go from there. Let's go here. Okay, let's see. Excellent, that looks good. All right, let me get this in here. It's going to take a minute, folks, so just bear with me. And I want to capture that. Excellent. Okay. I tell you, if my son keeps running around like that, he's going to sleep really, really good tonight, folks. Really good. All right, working on getting this set up here for you guys. Bear with me just a moment. And we'll have this up momentarily here. There we go. Oh boy, what did I, okay. Oh, okay. Let's do, oh boy. Bear with me here. I resized the wrong screen, folks. I'm sorry. I wanted to try to blow this up a touch so that way it was a little bit easier for you guys to see, and I selected the wrong one to do that too. So let me get that reset. All right, here we go. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got it. Okay. All right. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up. This is gonna look a little goofy here, folks, but as we kind of go through this here, I'm gonna loop this through, and we're gonna be right here. This is 7 p.m. and you can kind of see it's even picked up on our cell here, right around the Dayton area, and it's picking up on our other cells as well. I'm gonna get something else out of the way here, and that way I can kind of drive and point all at the same time. It's really unorthodox here. But here's our cell. We were watching just north of Dayton and Springfield. And then here's our line of storms. And then you need to get down because you're going to hurt yourself. That's why. And then as we continue to go here, here's our line of storms at 9 p.m. right now. So pretty robust here along and south of I-70. North of there, this is going to be interesting to see if this develops. I'm really curious to see if this feature right here develops. That's that cell from here moving off to the north and east and starting to get absorbed by that line. That can sometimes cause a bit of a spin up here. So that's something we'll have to kind of watch. But then look at here at 10 p.m. That's a really nice squall line with some embedded cells as well, especially right around Dayton, down towards the Cincinnati area. Some of these could exhibit some rotation. I'm not so sure if we see this type of development here out to the out ahead of it, or just east of Columbus towards Lancaster, Zanesville, Newark and Heath, down towards Logan. I'm not real sure. We're going to see if that pans out. It looked like it was kind of sort of trying. Here we are at midnight. We can see stuff starting to kind of squall out or push out a little bit here, gust out rather, I guess. Still some wind up here across portions of northeastern Ohio between Akron and Youngstown. And then we got some embedded storms kind of along US 23 there, at least coming towards US 23. And then as we get towards 2 a.m., you can see right now, it's pretty much right along the Ohio River, almost from Wheeling, West Virginia down towards Huntington, West Virginia. And some decent storms right there around Marietta, Parkersburg, West Virginia, down towards Racine. So definitely things going on. And as we go through the evening, you can see this begins to gradually move out. Some heavy rain though with it, folks. Again, some localized flooding. This is 7 a.m. We could see some showers in the morning across northeastern Ohio. And then as we go, we're going to come out of this through the morning here. That kind of continues to move through. That's with the secondary front coming through. A lot of colder air behind this. So our daytime highs for Monday are probably going to occur right around or just after midnight. We're only in the 40s across northwestern Ohio, upper 40s to maybe low 50s across portions of northeastern Ohio. We'll be warmer across southeastern Ohio. I think we'll hit the 60s before the colder air finally funnels in. We're not quite done with winter yet, unfortunately, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's going to be April here on Tuesday already. So this is something we're going to continue to monitor as well. There is additional model data coming in. That's just one model, what we call our high resolution rapid refresh. It does really well with most of our severe weather type stuff, what we call a convection allowing model. So it is actually a pretty good model. It's fairly trustworthy for the most part. They're not perfect. They're models. They're tools. They're not exact science. So. Okay, let's go check out our Wilmington radar again. Our storm has changed quite a bit, which is interesting here. So right now we're right over Urbana, folks, where we have our nice little storm that was developing earlier. Look at this, almost no rotation whatsoever. There's some back end stuff, but that doesn't even count. So this didn't quite pan out into anything. Do want to go back over further west now. The Weather Service is starting to issue special weather statements for looks like just one county in Ohio here. It looks like they're warning way out ahead of that line here. And that is going to be for, and bear with me here, it's for Darke County. Okay, I was close. I didn't think it was Darke County. I should know my county. So near the Greenville area right now, they have a special weather statement out on the line out here in Indiana. And that, again, isn't severe. They're looking at the storm moving to the east, northeast at about 45 miles an hour, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. We do see some cells, though, starting to just blossom right now north of Greenville in northern Darke County there. Salina getting a nice little storm as well. Here's our storm moving out of Urbana. And then we got some development over here at Bucyrus down towards Mount Vernon as well. And then we also have some showers starting to pop off to the east of Wilmington there, approaching US 23, Chillicothe. We'll keep an eye on it. Remember, we just looked at that on the model about some of that stuff developing. So if this trend continues, we could see those storms develop, and that could... I'm getting dizzy here. I don't know about you. Settle down. We'll see what that does over the next couple hours or so here. But we'll probably go ahead and wrap up the live stream here in just a moment. Just as a way to, and you will as a way to take a little bit of a break, but not so much for that. Just because there's not a whole lot going on, so I don't want to take up too much of your time here. So glad you all appreciated him today as well. And again, some of the timing on that, as you got further east, is generally after midnight. So that is what we're looking at for all of that. If you're further north, if you're north of I-70, I think the severe weather threat is fairly low, but we're going to have to see if these cells decide to develop or intensify by any means as that pushes further to the east. Not seeing too much of it right now. Again, it's looking fairly weak. I think as this starts interacting with the lake, it could weaken some things just a touch, but we'll keep an eye on that as well. So right now, I think at least some strong storms with some gusty winds across northeastern Ohio, but nothing crazy. As you get into West Virginia, again, that is after midnight. Gusty winds for sure. Not so sure on the severe side of things. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Not a ton. As we get further to the east, eastern Ohio, so Ashtabula, Youngstown, that area, I think it's mostly rain, and maybe some thunder at that point, but a lot of it at that point is certainly going to be well weakened. So again, we're not looking at big tornado risks or anything like that for eastern Ohio. In northeastern Ohio, it's generally lower for the most part. I think the best risk is going to be southwestern Ohio, where we have our tornado watch in place until 1 a.m. The severe thunderstorm watch is in place until 10 p.m. tonight. They've been gradually canceling it. Actually, Williams County is now out of the severe thunderstorm watch at this point. Again, that severe weather threat is east of you. It's over, so that's good. Other than that, I think for right now, we are going to just we'll go ahead and we'll stop our live just for now, and we will revisit as conditions warrant. I am watching this cell down here in Indiana, just coming into the Columbus, Indiana area. That's Camp Atterbury over there, coming out of Nashville. There's a tornado warning on this cell. No confirmed tornado right now, but that cell did have a tornado warning on it earlier. It was canceled, and now we have this one. This is gradually making its way towards Ohio. It's still a little ways away, but we'll keep an eye on it, and if anything does develop, we will definitely fire our live feed back up and keep you updated on the latest. I do appreciate everybody this evening decided to take time out of your evening and watch our live stream here. I'm really glad you enjoyed my son, Evan. He's having more fun than anybody, I think, at this point. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on everything, and as needed, we'll get the stream up and running again. Otherwise, stay safe. Have a great